Hey guys, so as I mentioned in a Facebook post earlier this week, I had come up with the idea of possibly doing some coloring book pages just to give us all something to do and to keep our minds active but not worrying about things that we have very little control over. This is going to be a different kind of video. I'm not going to go through my drawing process. I'm not even going to ink it for you. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to color it with you. It's going to be a little bit a longer process. I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to coloring. I'm just putting that out there right now. I do not color ever. So this piece of art you're about to see is going to be destroyed for you. Yeah, I just feel like it's more interactive this way. I want you guys to have something where you're coloring with me. I'm not just talking at you, explaining things. It's not like an essay. I just want you to have the feeling that we're all still in this together. We all have something to do together, even if we're in completely different places. So I took something that I had originally drawn and decided to use this video for it. Final Fantasy VII is releasing the remake, I believe, this Friday, I think is the 10th, something like that. And so I drew something from that, but I think it'll be fun for everybody to color even if you don't know what it is. I'm going to be using my Faber Castell color pencils. I only used them once before for a tiger drawing that came out more or less okay. That drawing took me a week, and this is only going to take me hopefully not that much time. Feel free to go crazy with the colors, add a background, do whatever you want to the picture, but I want to see your finished results. Please post to my Facebook page, my Instagram, tag me in some way. I'm going to have a place to put them. I want to see your end results. That's the whole point of this, is to do it together and just have some fun. So definitely follow the links in the description. That'll have a clear copy of you to go ahead and print out and color. Just make sure that you could actually use a medium that'll stick to whatever paper you use. Watercolor does not like printer paper, just keep that in mind. So yeah, just, print it out, color it, upload a picture of it, tag me. I want to see your finished results. And if you haven't already, follow my channel as well as the Facebook page and the Instagram to keep up with any other upcoming coloring book pages. So I had to do a little preemptive planning and get a look at the colors I was going to use. That's what this mess all down here is. I'm going to do something really basic because that's the way the figure's supposed to look. But you can do whatever colors you would like. You can do whatever medium you want. Go nuts. So that said, I'm going to be referencing this a lot, and I bring you the Chocobo and the duck. This is Douglas Duck. He's my favorite. So apparently with these, you're supposed to be able to layer, and that makes me really, really nervous. But we're gonna do it anyway and start with the easiest part. And I really hope the lighting is a little bit better for this than it was in the last video. Okay, so yeah, let's take a look. Okay, so I think that looks a little bit better. I tried really hard to move my lighting around a little bit, so hopefully it's not quite as offensive as it was in the previous video. I also want to mention that I have finally settled on a program for digital art that I am dabbling with, and I did my best to get you guys a very clean copy for the coloring page. I thickened up some of the lines and I kind of clarified some things, so your copy should actually look even better than my copy, just because I went a little nuts and decided to add some stuff to it without making it look too cluttered and too, this is what it has to be, this is what you have to do with it. I almost like the idea of making you guys work to make something spectacular out of something mundane. For instance, I have my Douglas Duck over here, and I almost called him Darkwing. I don't know why. I almost called him Donald earlier too. He's not Donald, he's Douglas. So this should be interesting. But coming up with, you know, simple mundane ideas and making you turn them into something fantastic, I think is a really fun idea. I also had the idea of maybe doing something more familiar, kind of like more fan art type stuff. I know a few people that would be really interested in like particular, well, we'll just say Disney sort of things. If I were to do Disney, I think they would just lose their minds and get super excited. So I might actually do that. We'll see. I also considered maybe doing polls to see what people would be more interested in coloring. This, you guys, honestly, I feel a little bit bad because you did kind of just get thrown into it. Like, this is what you're going to do, whether you want to or not. But sometimes that happens. It is not all going to be ducks and giant chickens, I promise. Or monsters, if you don't want to color monsters. I mean, I'll gladly draw you a monster if you want me to. But these, I like the idea of being kind of a little bit more simple and making you think more on what you want to include. Oh, maybe I should do dinosaurs. Like a cool little dinosaur. I like that idea. I want to do dinosaurs now. Just ignore me. I didn't get much sleep. Okay. So, we're going to add a little bit more. Coloring is really one of those things I want to get better at. And I mean, it sounds so simple. Like, you learn to color from when you're a little kid. But even then, I didn't like coloring that much. I wanted to do black and white. I always thought black and white was really pretty. And you know, color is too when you can do it. And for the longest time, I was convinced I couldn't and that I just didn't have the talent for it. You know, where's my fingers? I can't see. Talent for it. But that's not the case with anything artistic. You can learn if you put your mind to it. I just didn't want to. Like, that was all it freaking came down to, is I didn't want to put the time into practicing. I just wanted to magically be better at it. And I could actually show you. I might release a video soon about that too. A lot of people tell me, you know, you're so talented, you're so gifted, and I do appreciate those sentiments. Like, that really means a lot that you guys enjoy my art at all. It really makes me feel good, you know. It would make anybody feel good. But I think there's this misconception for a lot of people that you're just born with it. Like, you are born knowing how to do this stuff. Like, you get a pencil in your hand day one and you are automatically just genius with it. And that's not the case at all. I tried in January. I tried watercolor every day for January. And there were days I wanted to do nothing more than cry. And I mean cry. Like, I would get so frustrated because I couldn't get it to work. It was the first time I was ever trying to color anything, and I had no idea about color theory or even the color wheel. I couldn't tell you what was a complementary color. I still kind of can't. But I would just get so frustrated because I couldn't get it to work. And it took a lot of practice before I finally started seeing things that I thought were even remotely acceptable. And I think I should post that video, actually, because I think a lot of people will realize that part of art is failure. You have to fail to get better eventually. You're not going to be good at it automatically. It's just part of life, just like every other skill you learn. You have to try, you have to cry a little, then you have to get up and just freaking do it. So maybe I will post that. Alright. He has like weird colored feet. I think the picture I was looking at actually gave him darker feet, but I want him to have kind of orangey hues in there. Right now, at least, I do. And I'm going to give Douglas his little beak, because he's so cute. And his little feet. So this drawing, I actually did several thumbnails for. So thumbnails are like the little teeny tiny drawings you do to kind of get the feel of how something's going to look, to figure out how to draw something. I use them a lot because I'm gonna be honest with you, half the time I don't know what I'm freaking drawing. I'm gonna try yellow here first, and if this just destroys it, I'm going to cry. So I didn't really know what I was doing and like how to draw a chocobo. I knew about them and I had seen them. I think I want kind of like that. But I had never drawn them before, and I mean, I can say that about a lot of stuff. I have not drawn a lot of things. So the easiest way to do that is to break it down. Well, to break it down, you just get basic shapes. You figure out what they look like how could I draw them over and over the quickest way possible and not want to shoot myself. And it was actually fairly easy to figure out how to draw this guy. Like the big one, this guy, he actually wasn't that bad. He was basically a bowling pin. Well, I called it like an avocado, like a weirdly shaped avocado with like a little spaghetti and a little peanut of a head. And then he just had a bunch of feathers, so I just put a bunch of feathers on top. And it came out pretty good. I mean, I like it. And I love drawing feathers. Feathers are like my kryptonite. I will go crazy on feathers all the time. So I want him to actually have a little black eye. Little bitty. I feel like this should be marker, not color pencil. I need to wait. Oh, no. I need to wait. That's gonna smudge. Oh, shit. Shoot. Oh well. We'll leave it and hopefully not touch that part. Actually, I need to. See? You make mistakes all the time. And hopefully you catch yourself before you make a detrimental one. So this time I'm just gonna go over real light as I can. Because with color pencils, I will tell you there's a lot of layering involved. But this is just kind of a fun thing. Like I said, we're just doing this like I would if I was sitting in the living room talking to you guys. Somebody giving me too much coffee and I won't shut up. It's one of those things. This part right here really does remind me a little bit of a dinosaur. I think it's just his swooping neck, which I did kind of like, wanted him to be looking down, but also kind of to the side, like really curious, what is this? He's never seen a duck before, and the duck has never seen a chocobo. And I just have this image in my head of Douglas like looking at this giant bird and thinking that one day he's going to be this big, even though he's like fully grown. I have this whole like story in my head for that duck. It's kind of sad. I mean, I could even put him in like, well, Anthony told me what that old cartoon was called. Was it DuckTales that had like the three nephews? Huey, Dewey, Louie. I think that's what it was. So I can imagine him being part of like that and being like the weird cousin duck that nobody talked about. And I don't even know why ducks became a thing for me. I blame Anthony. Most of the stuff that I end up drawing is probably his fault in some way or another. He either asks me to do it, or he comes up with really weird ideas and like our conversations just get so random that I have to draw them. Because this was originally, when I was doing my thumbnailing, this was originally going to be like 3 different chocobos, so you guys could have like options of poses and all kinds of fun stuff and lots of feathers and colors. Well, that was a lot of work. And when I say it was a lot of work, it was difficult to figure out this pose, much less some of the ones I had the other ones in. Sharpen my pencil again. And it kind of just became too much. It became clustered. The way I had it figured, I didn't like it as much because you really couldn't tell what was going on with all the feathers and stuff. Like, if this Chocobo has this many feathers, could you imagine 2 other ones standing with it? These feathers are going to be a little bit of a pain. Keeping the pencil light. I really wish I had saved one of the pictures I took. I was having trouble sleeping for a really long time. And I don't know why. I just sometimes don't sleep very well. My mind goes a lot. Like, it just gets so many thoughts in it. It just goes. You could probably tell that just by watching my videos. And I was trying to draw this picture during one night that I couldn't sleep. And at one point, I was so tired and I was getting so frustrated with the way that the pictures were coming out and that I couldn't get the placement right, that I just like started really having fun with it. And I had like one of the Chocobos was a little bit creative, and it was like showing its butt, and the other ones were just like in this really dramatic pose, and he was just like ruining it because he was being the joke, a little jokester, and they were all mad at him. I had this whole little thing going on in my head. I don't know what I was thinking. I was so tired, and I was like a giggling mess. So I'm really glad I wish I could show you just the thumbnail of that, just because it was so random and so silly. But for people to want to color, I didn't think they would want to do that. So I went with something a little more simple, but a little less serious, I guess. And this seems to hit the bill. I mean, you know, a giant chicken with his little duck friend can't hurt. It never hurt nothing. So, just finishing up a light layer. Hoping I can make this look alright without putting too much into it. Okay, I needed a small break. So, from the looks of it, the Chocobo doesn't have all that much of a color variation from its wing. So I'm just gonna go with it. I'll tuck this in, give it a little more. I think this is actually what a lot of people are trying to like convey when they make this so much darker than the rest of the wing. It's like there's shadows from where the wing would come under. Or like the feathers would come under like the other feathers. But I'm not a pro, so I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know. I mean, there are birds that just have like tipped wings with beautiful colors on them, so maybe that's all it is. Here I'm giving it a little more shading. I want to, so I'm going to. We're gonna do that. Alright, I hope you guys have been able to see that. Alright, so this is where I'm gonna have some fun. Guess this I feel like it's going to be a great deal darker. So, Yeah, things like this. Just curling under. And like, I imagine if I were coloring this to be anything other than Chocobo, like, you could even do like peacock colors or changing colors in the feathers and like a gradient. That would be kind of cool. And no, just because you use my idea doesn't mean I'm going to love it any more than anybody else's. Though it is a good idea. And if this wasn't an original, I might consider doing it myself. This is probably like the hardest thing I always have with coloring an original piece and not making a copy of it. I mean, I have copies, I could always print mine off too, like you guys are probably gonna do, and just do it that way. But like, I can't go back. Like, this is how it's gonna look in my sketchbook forever, and that gives me extreme anxiety. But it's also kind of fun, it's kind of liberating to do something different. Because I always do line art. I love doing line art. I should have been like a comic book artist at some point in my life. And gone to school, and or at least started lettering. Like, nobody could argue. My writing would be perfect for a freaking comic book. I would make so much money just doing like the words in the speech bubbles. But so I do have actual markers too at some point. Maybe I'll try coloring with those on the next picture. Because this paper is actually pretty heavy. It can handle the markers okay without bleeding through to like 9 pages usually. I just have to put extra paper under it, which I have because I've been using the scrap paper to test my colors for this guy. So maybe for the next one I'll actually do like markers or some other medium. I will not paint. I can tell you that. I will not paint. I mean, maybe, possibly one day, but not now. I think I would go crazy if I tried to paint. At least watercolor. I would probably legitimately go nuts if I tried to watercolor on a video. And you guys don't want me to go nuts, do you? Okay, so I've got the basic gradient down. I really like the shadows. I don't know if you can see them. I'm assuming you can. I'll check. I'm gonna go through again though and just press. A little harder. Make it a little more firm. Actually, I'm trying to think how to do this so you guys can see. I'll just squish myself in the corner. That's what I'm gonna do. So again, I'm changing the direction of my pencil just to see if I can get it a little more color on the page. Because I was pressing pretty hard, especially when I did like the brighter yellow. So it's gonna interfere with how the rest of my pencil lays down, I think. I don't know, maybe, probably. It's my theory and I'm sticking with it. I kind of want to leave these lighter. I'm gonna color in here and leave these like really light. I like that. Ooh, and maybe like the bigger ones here can be lighter too. Make these a little darker because they're so cute. Alright, this doesn't look half bad. I kind of like it. You need to get more color though. I like that. This isn't half bad. I'm actually pretty happy. Who would have thought they'd ever hear me say that about colored pencil? Alright, so I'm trying to get similar. Oh, I'm gonna leave this one mostly done too. Yeah. That way it's more realistic, because not everything's gonna be super flat, even when the sun's like hitting it. And so I'll leave some of these a little brighter. Actually, I need to change this to this. I like that. I really like that. I'm happy. Okay. Let's do this. I might need to go through and do some finishing touch-ups, but for the most part, I just wanted to kind of go through my own drawing with you guys and, you know, give you guys something to look forward to every week besides work. Or if you're not working, besides looking at the news. That I have found can be very troubling. And I just think that everybody needs a chance to chill out. And if I can help, why not? I will make these as often as I can. You will always have a post on one of my social media accounts. Definitely, like I said in the beginning, follow those. That's where you're going to see these pop up. And I will always do a video of my coloring along with you, just as a little bit of fun. Just as a little bit of camaraderie as we figure this out. Alright, so there we go. Okay, might do a few touch-ups on Douglas too. Okay guys, so here's mine. A little basic, but still really excited to show it to you. We've got my giant Chocobo with his beautiful feathers, a little bit of shading detail, and we've got his little duck friend that still has no idea what's going on. So I'm really excited about this one, and I'm hoping that you guys find it exciting as well. I'm really interested to see what you come up with. If you follow the link in the description below, it's going to take you to my Facebook page where you can download this to go ahead and color it as you see fit. You can do whatever you want to the image, as long as you tag me back once you upload it and let me see what you've done. I'm very curious to see if you do any crazy colors, any interesting backgrounds. I mean, go for it. The world is your oyster. I don't even care if you have him in space. That would actually be really cool to see. So I'm planning on doing these hopefully every Wednesday. And my thought is that a lot of people that are still working, I know a lot of people that are still working because their jobs are considered essential. And Wednesday's always hard for those people. The Monday through Fridays, Wednesday's the worst. So hopefully this is something that'll help you guys smile, help you get through the day, give you something to look forward to. And I mean, everybody looks forward to Friday, but this will give you something to think about and to do until you get to that point. I'm also going to continue with my Saturday releases from my fan art, so definitely give the channel a like and subscribe so you can continue seeing my art. In general, I am very proud of what I put out, and it is very important to me just to get some feedback and to see what you guys like as well. For the coloring book pages, I'm going to try and keep that as every Wednesday, but what I would like to do is also have you comment on this particular video to let me know what you would like to see more of. Would you like a particular theme for next week? Would you have an idea that you want to propose to me? You can do that here in the comments on YouTube, or you could even go to my page for Facebook where I have these set up, and we can set up a poll and kind of go for themes that way. Like this week we want to do something more Marvel based, or this week we want to do DC or Disney or something like that. I am more than happy to get you guys something that you would like to do instead of something a little bit more random that you might not understand. So definitely go ahead and just communicate. That's the easiest way to get what you need, and to get what we all need to get through this is to communicate and let me know what you would like. I would be more than happy to help use my art to bring some happiness to you guys. So that said, please like, comment, and subscribe. Keep updated with the channel as well as my social media platforms. I have a new video coming out in a couple days, so until then, stay safe, and I will see you then. Wait. Wait. Oh my god. I forgot to color his eyeball. Wait, hold on. Hold that thought. There we go. All done.